Hello and welcome everyone to Zalengam Media's YouTube channel. We're excited to have you here where we bring you in-depth coverage and analysis of key issues impacting Nagaland and its people. From the latest political developments to the ongoing struggles for sovereignty and resource rights, we're committed to keeping you informed and engaged. If you're passionate about Nagaland's future, resource exploration, or the dynamics of the Naga people's fight for self-determination, you're in the right place. Nscn-Im's stance on resource exploration in Nagaland, a complex political landscape. The National Socialist Council of Nagalim, Isak Muivah, Nscn-Im, a significant insurgent group in Nagaland, has consistently opposed the exploration and exploitation of the state's resources without a political resolution. The group's opposition is rooted in a larger struggle for Naga sovereignty and self-determination. Recently, this stance has been brought into sharper focus due to the Indian government's plans for mineral exploration in Nagaland, including the extraction of petroleum and other natural resources. Nscn-Im rejects center's alleged mining and petroleum exploration moves. In 2023, the Nscn-Im once again made headlines by rejecting the Indian government's move to explore oil and gas reserves in Nagaland. The group argued that such moves undermine the Naga people's sovereignty and their right to control the land and its resources. The Nscn-Im has made it clear that it will not allow the exploitation of Nagaland's petroleum and mineral wealth until a political settlement is reached, ensuring Naga autonomy. This rejection ties into a long-standing position taken by the Nscn-Im since the 1990s, with the group consistently claiming that the region's natural resources should remain under Naga control and be utilized only with the full consent of the Naga people. Despite the government's efforts to engage local leaders in discussions about resource extraction, the Nscn-Im continues to oppose such initiatives. The government's plan to exploit Nagaland's petroleum resources has sparked tension in a region already struggling with political instability and demands for self-rule. The state's hydrocarbon reserves, estimated to be around 600 million tons, hold significant economic potential. However, the local resistance has created a complex situation for the government and energy corporations seeking to tap into these resources. Petroleum in Nagaland, a resource at the heart of political tension. Petroleum exploration in Nagaland has been an ongoing issue for decades. The first significant oil exploration efforts in the state began in the 1960s, when early deposits were discovered in areas like Woka, Zuniboto, and Mon districts. However, the region's history of insurgency and political unrest severely impacted the pace of exploration and extraction. By the 1990s, the rise in militant activities made oil exploration operations difficult and dangerous, and many companies pulled back from active exploration in the area. Despite the potential for wealth in Nagaland's natural gas and oil reserves, these resources have largely remained untapped. According to industry estimates, the state's reserves could hold as much as 600 million tons of petroleum. However, due to political unrest, past exploration efforts have been limited and sporadic. In 2023, Oil India Limited, OIL, expressed interest in expanding operations in Nagaland, following successful exploration projects in neighboring states. However, the proposals were met with significant resistance from various Naga organizations, including the Nscn-Im. These groups argue that allowing exploration and exploitation of the state's resources without a political settlement would amount to an injustice to the Naga people, who continue to demand greater autonomy and self-rule. The legal and regulatory framework for oil exploration in Nagaland includes the Petroleum and Natural Gas Rules of 2012, which govern exploration across the country. Yet, local Naga bodies, such as the Nagaland Tribes Council, NTC, argue that these rules fail to address the region's unique political situation. The NTC has called for amendments to ensure that resource extraction only occurs with local consent and after resolving long-standing issues such as interstate border disputes. The ongoing conflict, Nscn-Im's opposition to government moves. The Nscn-Im's opposition to the Indian government's moves extends beyond petroleum exploration. The group has consistently opposed any efforts by the Indian government to engage in mining and resource exploitation in the region. They assert that the economic benefits from these resources must not come at the cost of undermining Naga sovereignty. Furthermore, the Nscn-Im has rejected all attempts to expand mining projects, asserting that these operations are merely tools for external forces to control Nagaland's without regard for the rights of its people. The group's stance has led to a complicated relationship with the Indian government. The government continues to push for economic development in the region, including resource extraction, which it argues will bring much-needed revenue to Nagaland and boost its development. However, for the Nscn-Im and many other Naga groups, such projects are seen as detrimental to the political aspirations of the Naga people. These groups argue that the government is only interested in exploiting the region's resources without addressing the unresolved political issues that are at the core of the Naga struggle, the Nscn-Im's internal and external conflicts. Alongside its opposition to government initiatives, the Nscn-Im is also embroiled in ongoing internal conflicts with other Naga armed groups. One notable conflict is with the faction of the Nationalist Socialist Council of Nagalim, Kaplang, Nscn-K, a splinter group that also claims to represent Naga interests. Over the years, violent clashes have erupted between these factions, with both groups accusing each other of betrayal and seeking to control territory and influence within the Naga political landscape. Despite the differences, both groups share the broader goal of Naga sovereignty, but their methods and leadership have often been points of contention. The internal conflict among Naga armed groups complicates the peace process, as it becomes harder to find a unified voice for the Naga cause. These rivalries also spill over into other issues, including the perception of legitimacy regarding any negotiation with the Indian government. Additionally, there has been increasing criticism within the Naga community regarding the Nscn-Im's approach to the peace talks. Some factions and leaders have suggested that the group's refusal to compromise has stymied progress towards a long-term political solution, while others argue that the Nscn-Im's hardline stance is necessary to preserve the integrity of the Naga cause. Nscn-Im's 46th Republic Day celebration, a reminder of Naga resolve. The Nscn-Im recently celebrated its 46th Republic Day in Nagaland, marking the continued struggle for Naga sovereignty. During the celebrations, the group reiterated its rejection of the Indian government's moves to explore and exploit the state's natural resources, especially petroleum. The group remains adamant that no extraction or exploration should occur without a political resolution that respects the rights and aspirations of the Naga people. The celebration of Republic Day is symbolic for the Nscn-Im, a reminder of the group's long history of resistance and its commitment to achieving a political settlement that guarantees Naga self-rule. This year's observance served as both a celebration of Naga unity and a protest against what the group sees as continued encroachment on Naga lands and resources by external forces. The future of Nagaland's petroleum resources. The future of petroleum exploration in Nagaland remains uncertain. While the government's interest in tapping into the region's vast resources is clear, the opposition from local Naga groups, led by the Nscn-Im, suggests that any exploration would face significant hurdles. Additionally, with the ongoing political negotiations and internal conflicts among Naga groups, the chances of a peaceful resolution in the near future appear slim. Economic benefits from petroleum could indeed transform Nagaland, but they cannot be realized without first addressing the region's political complexities. Without a resolution to the Naga issue, any move to exploit the region's resources will continue to be met with fierce opposition, and the prospect of lasting peace remains elusive. Stay updated with the latest news and analysis on Nagaland's ongoing issues and developments right here on Zalengam Media's YouTube channel.